Hey, Janice.
Hi, Anthony.
Today we're going to talk about a professional executor for non-US heirs. Hiring a professional executor is particularly useful for non-US heirs. Most state rules make it very tough for you to be a US executor if you're not from here or if you're a non-citizen. So we will cover that topic. All right. So first we will talk about, let's see here, US Executor Qualifications. So as I just mentioned, several states have outright prohibitions on non-U.S. citizens serving as executor, meaning you have to be a citizen and or a resident.
Yep.
Some states are a little bit more nuanced. It's not an outright prohibition. New York, for example, does allow a non-citizen to be an executor, but if and only if they're a New York resident, not a U.S. resident, a New York resident.
Okay.
And not only, you must prove this not only at the time of applying for executorship, but on an ongoing basis. So what do I mean by that? We had a non-citizen heir who moved to New York for the purpose of being the executor. And that was fine. But then because of the past 2 years, he moved out of state and left. And then when he tried to use his letters, I think it was with a co-op that was part of the estate. The co-op said, okay, are you a New York resident? He's like, oh, no, I live elsewhere now. Well, now your letters are no longer valid. And that caused a huge problem. So you have to stay a New York resident, not just
Can't just move in.
Mm-hmm. You can't, exactly.
Move in, get the letters, and move out. Okay.
Right. All right. So that's qualifications for being a U.S. executor. So how can you be a U.S. executor if you live abroad? You can do it sometimes, but it is challenging. So, for example, we just talked about New York may allow it, but you have to have a U.S. co-executor. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a bit of pain because it's much more paperwork during probate, and every step of the way, everything that requires a signature, you're basically doing everything twice. And if you're overseas, you know about this, Janice, you have to go to an apostille or a consulate. It can be very difficult.
Yep. Just the postage alone to send something like that for each document that has to be signed by both the administrators or executors, and it gets really expensive.
And so if this is something that the court will only allow at its discretion, meaning having a non-U.S. executor with a co-U.S. executor. So even if they do allow it, and we talked about the notarizations, and you might even have to fly into New York for the seemingly most mundane tasks.
Yep.
And you might think, a lot of people think, it's 2022. Can I do that online, or can I do that with an app, or at the very least, can I do that by phone? No.
Nope.
There are a surprising number of tasks that require in-person visits. Banks and co-ops are two of the biggest culprits.
Yep.
We have an instance where where we have a Colorado situation where I think there's a store, a retail store is part of the estate, and the store security system won't speak to. We need somebody to be there in person, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
As well as one of the banks in Colorado needs somebody to come in person to shut down the account.
Correct. Well, that's even in New York. I mean, you have to.
That's true. Yeah.
Banking, you have to physically walk in with your letters in hand, an original death certificate in hand, your ID. But
even if it's not technically required, in practicality, it's not going to get done unless you walk in.
No way. Nope.
So then lastly, let's see, what do we have here? So what if there's already an appointed executor in a non-U.S. court? So let's say somebody passed away in Spain. There's a court-appointed executor in Spain, and then there happens to be U.S. assets. Do you still need a U.S. executor? Yeah. We're going through this right now. You still need, it'll be a different name. It'll be an ancillary U.S. executor, but it's all the things we just talked about. The rules about citizenship and residency, they all still apply. So even if you have someone who's a citizen and resident of Spain who's appointed there, they still need to get a co-U.S. executor here, or better yet, just to avoid the headaches of having dual executors, hire a U.S. professional executor to collect the U.S. assets.
Yes, exactly. We do a lot of the ancillary probate.
Because of all the headaches we're talking about now, it's why we do it. Why we're sought after.
Right. Because it is complex, and the executors that are over in Spain or wherever, they don't want to fly over to open a bank account and walk in and because we've talked about this before. You may not be able to get everything done in one trip, right?
Oh,
so, okay, let's say you, in theory, could fly over here and open a bank account. Well, there's still 5 other things that have to be done that most likely can't be done on the same day or week. So that's, more trips. Learn more about this and how executorship works. Anthony's book, How to Hire an Executor.
Very good.
Available on Amazon.
This was a quick one, but it's an important one, especially for our listeners who are overseas. Okay, let us know if you have any other questions. We deal with international estates quite a bit, just international heirs. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Thanks, Janice, as always, and we will talk soon next time.
Talk soon.
Bye now.